Gang, what is up? Today we are wandering around Canary Wharf and I've never shot here before, so this is going to be as much of a learning experience for me as it is for you. Thank you very much for my coffee, Hachika, I think that's how you say your name. Apologies if I've got that wrong. I always find Canary Wharf such an odd place because there's a lot of things that just lead to like nowhere. There's no real flow, there's no real directionality. There seems to be just like, not necessarily little alleyways, but I don't know, just lots of opportunities to get lost. And I've managed to make my way to a dead end, and there seems to be less people around than I was hoping for. So that means that maybe more patience is needed today, but we will work through it and we will get there. There's lots of things that look cool, like this building in the background, but how can you make an interesting image with it? That's the hard thing. So that's what we're going to be trying to play around with today. Gang, I've changed my mind. It didn't take too long at all. Although there's less people, there's more interesting shapes because the skyscrapers are just cutting up this sunshine, and there's so many interesting man-made things that it's just causing, like, everywhere you look there's just interesting shadow, and it's like, okay, how can I just mess around with shapes? How can I try and make something that actually looks cool and interesting? And it's so much fun, and I feel like this really dives into my sort of style of street, where it's very much like compositionally driven as opposed to story driven for the moment. Maybe we'll get more story driven, but it is so much fun. I am really having a good time. So I found this really cool spot down here where we've got these two, here we go, these two orange cones, and they're complemented by these strips of yellow down here. And they're next to each other on the colour wheel, so that's why they're complementary colours. And we've got this sort of very light, sandy sort of stone. So everything in this image is on like a very narrow band within the colour wheel. So that looks very aesthetic. But the thought that I had was, as I was walking along, you can see that these stairs sort of open and close. And so what I mean by that is, as you get further over them, because it's a 3D object, you're then exposing more of the top angle of them. And so if you want to show off the various different lines, then by moving further over, you're able to make it a more reoccurring pattern. Whereas as you move further away, this way, you then create one solid block. And so with that knowledge, you can then be like, okay, do I want to have one solid block of color, or do I want to have a pattern? And this is just one of the amazing fun ways how playing around with photography and thinking about things a little bit more can really just create a whole new different image. So here's what I shot. Thank you so much to Gloria 313 for this beautiful oak flat white. It's from a company called Change Please, which helps homeless people by giving them an opportunity to start little businesses selling coffee. So thank you very much. One of my favourite things about Canary Wharf is that although the sun is up here, the light is bouncing off so many different skyscrapers, creating so many different planes of light. And although it's like natural for us to be used to light reflecting off skyscrapers and big buildings, it's a very unnatural thing, and it creates really interesting patches of light. It feels very unnatural while still kind of being natural. And being aware of the directionality of light, that then allows you to start to curate your images and to really think about how you want your subject to be illuminated. And that then just looks another tier above. That then helps you be a better photographer, because the more deliberate you can be, the more interesting, or typically the more interesting a composition is. On that note, I'm gonna stay out the sun because I'm probably gonna get sunburned. something that I really love is how the light changes throughout the day, and how that then creates different subjects and draws your eye to different things. And that is, it's so interesting. It means that things are constantly changing, and even just like on a day-to-day basis, the weather conditions are slightly different, the seasons change, and that means that the light that is available to shoot street changes, and that is so interesting to me, and just, yeah, encourages me to keep coming out and to keep on shooting similar places. Although this is my first time at Canary Wharf, it encourages me to shoot in the same place over and over again, because the light changes and the light is different, and the more you can learn to really appreciate light and how it reacts and how it responds, the more enjoyment I think you're going to get out of your photography, because that, at the end of the day, is all we do. We just capture light and make light look nice. So learning how light moves, how light interacts with certain things, how different times of the day affect the light in different ways is all so interesting and will help us all elevate our photography. Gang, at the end of every street photography video, I'm going to print one of the photos that I took, because I think that printing your images is so important. I'm only going to print one, and the image I've chosen is this. It's so interesting. There's obviously this single subject in the middle, and there's so many questions. It's like, who is she? Where is she going? Where is, like, what's going on? Why are we above her being able to shoot down? And I love the colours and the tones in this. Oh, sick tones, bro. But I love, yeah, the very neutral clothing that she's wearing. The like strip of blues going through the frame. You've got obviously the floor. You've also got that kind of like window looking thing. And then that's being complemented by this really nice, soft, warm tones that are going straight through the image in this wood. And let me know whether I've made the right decision getting this photo printed, and yeah, let me know which one you would have got printed if it was up to you. And so on that note, peace.